Have you ever wondered what the most expensive beer in the world tastes like? Forget your usual craft IPA or imported lager. Today, we're diving into the world of ultra-luxury brewing, a place where a single bottle can cost more than a car. Get ready, because we're about to uncork the story of the world's most expensive ale. So, what is this legendary brew? It's called Allsop's Arctic Ale, and when I say legendary, I mean it. This isn't some modern creation infused with gold flakes or diamonds. This is a piece of history. A beer brewed for an actual Arctic expedition way back in 1875. Imagine that. This ale was crafted to withstand the harshest conditions on Earth. A lifeline of warmth and calories for explorers venturing into the unknown. The expedition was led by Sir George Nares, a British Royal Navy officer, on a quest to reach the North Pole. They needed a beer that was incredibly strong, rich in nutrients, and wouldn't freeze in the brutal Arctic temperatures. Samuel Allsop and Sons, one of the biggest breweries in the world at the time, rose to the challenge. They created an exceptionally potent barley wine, with an alcohol content estimated to be over 10%. This wasn't just a drink, it was survival fuel. Fast forward over a century later, a bottle of this historic Arctic ale, complete with its original, handwritten label, shows up on eBay. The label itself is a work of art, reading Allsop's Arctic Ale, brewed expressly for the Arctic expedition, 1875. Can you imagine the excitement in the collector's world? This wasn't just old beer, it was a time capsule. It was a direct link to the golden age of exploration, a tangible artifact from a perilous journey. The bidding was fierce, as you can probably guess. Collectors and beer historians from around the globe were desperate to get their hands on this piece of liquid history. The initial listing had a spelling mistake, listing it as Allsop's, which actually allowed a savvy buyer from Massachusetts to snag it for a relatively low price of just over $300. What a steal! But he knew exactly what he had. He relisted it with the correct spelling, Allsop's, and the history properly detailed. This time, the internet went wild. The bidding war that followed was epic. When the virtual hammer finally fell, the bottle sold for an incredible $503,300. That's right, over $500,000 for a single bottle of beer. That price tag officially crowned Allsop's Arctic Ale as the most expensive ale ever sold. Now, you're probably asking the same question I was. What does a $500,000, 140-year-old beer taste like? Well, the buyer, who remained anonymous, didn't purchase it for a tasting session. This bottle is a museum piece, a collector's item of the highest order. The value isn't in the flavor, which has likely changed dramatically over 140 years, but in its story. It's about owning a piece of history, a relic from an era of adventure and discovery. Think about it. This bottle of ale was brewed for men who were pushing the boundaries of human endurance. It sat in the hold of a ship, the HMS Alert or the HMS Discovery, as it navigated through treacherous ice floes. It was meant to be a moment of comfort in one of the most inhospitable environments on the planet. Who knows if this particular bottle was ever intended for a specific explorer? Its journey from a 19th-century brewery to a 21st-century online auction is a story in itself. So, what makes a beer this valuable? It's a combination of rarity, historical significance, and provenance. There are very, very few of these bottles left in the world. Each one is a survivor. Its direct connection to Sir George Nares's famous and difficult expedition gives it an almost mythical status among collectors. The fact that it's sealed with its contents and label intact is nothing short of miraculous. And the story doesn't end there. The legacy of Allsop's has been revived. Inspired by this incredible history, modern brewers have recreated the recipe. you can now buy a modern version of Allsop's, a tribute to the original barley wine that fueled Arctic explorers. Of course, it won't cost you $500,000, but it gives you a small taste of that history. It's a way for us regular folks to connect with that incredible story of adventure and brewing craftsmanship. But the original 1875 bottle remains in a class of its own. It's more than just an ale. It's a testament to the enduring power of a good story. It proves that the value of an object can go far beyond its material worth. It's about the human hands that crafted it, the epic journey it was part of, and the history it represents. While we might never get to taste the original Allsop's Arctic Ale, its story is a fascinating glimpse into the extremes of both brewing and human exploration. It reminds us that sometimes the most valuable things are the ones that carry the weight of history. It's a story of survival, of craftsmanship, and of a simple bottle of beer becoming a priceless artifact. So next time you're enjoying a pint, take a moment to appreciate the history and the craft that goes into it. Who knows, the beer in your hand might have its own interesting story to tell one day. But it'll have a hard time topping the $500,000 ale that was brewed for the North Pole. Thanks for joining me on this journey into the world of ultra-expensive beer. If you found this story as fascinating as I did, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into incredible topics. Let me know in the comments what the most you've ever spent on a beer is. See you in the next video.